So, somebody sent me a video stating I needed to look at this, which is nobody died in the Watts house. It was all done at Survey 319, which I highly doubt. The girls were murdered out at Survey 319, but Shanann would have been murdered inside the Watts home. But they state that that's why the dogs did not alert, which is very interesting. So, with you guys watching with myself, we're going to watch this and kind of clarify if this is a possibility or not. Again, it happened at the Watts home. The unfortunate event that Shanann was unalived at this location because we never see Shanann leave the property. We've talked about it before that Chris stated he took her out the front, but we never actually see him carry her out, which is why we're led to believe that he took her out the back, because we've looked at the fence, we've seen little pieces of ripped, torn sheets off the bed that are on the fence, which leaves us to believe, or myself, that she was taking out the back. But she was not alive when she left. But before we go any further, make sure you guys are subscribed to the YouTube channel by hitting that white bar icon down at the bottom right. Hit that bell icon next to it, so when I do post videos like this one, you guys will get that little ring notification that I've posted that video. Then you guys can watch, comment, like, and share. And again, I thank you guys so very much for that continued love and support. We are so close to 51,000 subscribers. We are on our way to 100,000 subscribers, but I need your guys' help. So if you guys are watching, consider subscribing. And then also go over to Michelle After Dark. This is the video that we're about to watch. I would definitely like your partake and your expertise for those that are professional, non-professional, junior detectives. You know what? You guys get the gist. And see your guys' opinions and theories down in the comments. Again, this video is for educational and for entertainment purposes only. This is not my opinions. Are not factual. So I just want to let that be clear. And with that being said, let's get into the video.
The world, and I hope you're all well. It's Michelle here, and in this video we're going to reinvestigate the role of the search dogs in the Chris Watts case.
So one dog was there for trauma, and one dog was searching for bodies, decomposing bodies.
What you're seeing at the moment is Officer Line's body cam, and this is Jane with her search dog Cody, and she's preparing the scents. This is on the 14th of August, and many people have seen this footage, poured over this footage. I've got some videos about the search dogs, and I feel the need to go over it all again because I'm seeing a lot of creators saying that no one died in the Chris Watts house because the search dogs didn't alert. So first of all, let's look at what Officer Lines reported in the discovery. Okay. And then we're going to go on to Officer Perez, whose footage we don't often see on the internet. And throughout all of that, I'm going to be talking about cadaver dogs and cadaverine, which is the substance that a dead body produces that the dogs are actually detecting. So let's start off with Officer Lines. It's Officer Lines footage that you see with Cody the Labrador searching the house. He searches the basement. He does a search of the neighbourhood. I've got videos on all of this, so go and check those out. People need to understand the role of these dogs, but also the limitations of these dogs. So this might get to be a long video. That's okay. But stick with it, and hopefully you find it informative. Right.
Definitely like our channel.
This is on page 40 of the 1,960 page discovery. So this is the version of the discovery that's got some redacted material. The original discovery was a bit longer.
I hate when they redact stuff.
But all the police reports and everything are in there. Right. Prior to beginning the search, Chris was asked to step outside so there was no interference with the dogs. Deputy Perez remained with him, with the front door remained open, so that any time he wanted to discontinue the search, he could do so, and the information could be easily relayed. I entered the home with Jane and her canine. So that this is Cody the Labrador, which she stated is a cadaver dog. She did not say that Cody was a cadaver dog. She said he was a trauma dog. Now, he's actually a search and rescue dog that's trained to detect particular scents from individuals. He's given the scent. That's why they went in the house beforehand and found scents that only Shanann and Bella and Cece, like items they would have held, like shoes and things like that. He was given those scents.
Or stayed.
And he learnt them, and they learn them very, very quick because he's trained to do that. So he's looking for those living scents. He's not looking for cadaverine. Come on to cadaverine in a moment. He's not looking for that. Officer Lyons is wrong. Jane very clearly, in Officer Lyons' footage, said he was a trauma dog. When the body is excited or afraid or just working hard, then more body odour is produced. So there's more molecules on items in the environment or in the air. So when you see Cody out, I've got a video on, he detected at the dumpsters in the neighbourhood where Chris put items of, I think it was Bella and Cece's items. He alerted. He puts his nose in the air, detects the scent on the air, and then he focuses in on where those molecules are the highest. Unfortunately, very unfortunately, they ignored him. He's not a cadaver dog, guys. As we move through the home, Jane explained what type of scent the dog...
So the brown one, the lab, was a trauma dog, as we know. But what about the German Shepherd? Was that a cadaver dog?
Dog alerts to. Jane mentioned several times that the dog alerted to areas where there may have been some sort of trauma and struggle, such as an argument, explaining scents from people, pools, and collecting.
Which he did very much so in the basement.
Areas. That's true. He did alerts in Bella's room, but he particularly alerted in the basement, and they ignored it. Well, they didn't. Jane pointed it out in the basement. She even said that they should put a trauma tag there, like they should tag it,
and they never did,
for later forensic testing. Was that done? No. The dog did not locate any human remains. Of course he didn't, because that's not what he's looking for.
And
she's confused this with when Cody alerted in the basement, they called for another dog who was a cadaver dog. The German Shepherd Dexter.
Okay, that's what it was.
A cadaver dog. Officer Lyons has got the two dogs confused. The search continued from the neighbourhood clubhouse, west and north, circling back to the home without success, except he...
And that's why the German Shepherd never alerted, because it was looking for decomposition, which was not there. But the other dog, the trauma dog, alerted because trauma happened, or there was something with the molecules that created excitement in one of the people, or like, that makes total sense now.
Did alert at the dumpster, and no one listened to him.
Exactly.
The poor thing. Jane's dog was later taken to Chris' work truck, which was parked just east of his home. Jane stated that the dog detected but gave no hard command. However, the dog did not enter the vehicle, and the doors to the vehicle remained closed. I can't find the footage in the Discovery files, and I've got them all from Will County. I can't find where officer...
You know what would have been cool too, or not cool, but very interesting, if they did NK's smell and see if the dog's alerted inside the home.
Officer Lyons had a body cam on where Cody alerted at the truck or showed interest in the truck. So if anybody's got that footage or I've missed it, could you let me know in the comments, please? I don't believe they were allowed inside the truck because it was the property of Anadarko. I think that's why they didn't search the truck. However, he alerted on the outside. Now,
but if they have probable cause, does that not matter anymore?
People have said that there was no dead body in the truck because the search dogs didn't alert at the truck. Again, in a moment, we're going to come on.
But when they had Shanann in the back of the truck, there wasn't enough time for decomposition because she had just been unalived and put in there and then taken out to Survey 319. So then that cadaver dog would have never alerted in there, but the trauma dog alerted because there was trauma inside the truck.
On to what cadaverine is and when and how dogs track it and find it. But if Cody showed some interest at the truck, it obviously shows that there's a build-up of molecules from the people that Cody is tracking.
So that would mean if there was a buildup of molecules inside the truck, the girls were unalived in the truck, which would put that other theory to bed that they were unalived at Survey 319 up at the tanks. Right?
Cody's tracking the scent from Shanann, Bella, and Cece. Now, he can't tell you that it was Shanann's scent or Bella's scent or Cece's scent because he was looking for them all. We know someone was in that truck. Dear me. While in the home, a track dog was asked to enter. Right, so this is the point where the cadaver dog entered. This
German
is
Shepherd.
Dexter. While in the home, a track dog was asked to enter as there was an indication from the cadaver dog. No, officer lines.
Trauma dog.
That a struggle or argument had ensued. Jeff Herbert and his canine entered the home. Jeff stated that the dog showed interest in the unmade bed in the basement and an area just below the stairs, which is exactly where Cody was going mad, barking, but did not do any final trained alerts. We exited the basement and went upstairs to the garage. No indication was noted in the garage. We exited the home. That's Officer Line's statement. Now let's go on to Officer Perez. Lines and Perez both turned up on the afternoon of the 14th. And as I said at the beginning, we're going to look through some of Perez's footage because we don't often see it from Perez's side. And I think it's interesting, some interesting conversations were captured. So let's do
mistakes.
That. But we also want to talk about cadaverine. Right, so this is what Perez said about the search stuff. So this is page 42. All right. Officer Lines stayed with the rescue dog. Thank you. At least he's got that right. Cody was the search and rescue dog looking for body odor from particular people. Right, start again. Officer Lines stayed with the rescue dog and Jane inside the home.
Rescue dog.
Officer Lines told me to ask Christopher what Bella and Celeste were wearing on Sunday night, Monday morning.
PJs.
Christopher advised Bella and Celeste wore pajamas in bed and usually wore long dress style pajamas. Christopher advised he did not know exactly which one Bella or Celeste wore that night.
How, when
Officer
you put them in
Lines
bed?
stated that Jane requested a different dog enter the home. This is correct. Jane stepped outside of the home with the rescue dog. Excellent, he's got the hang of this. And Jeff went with a different dog. And Jeff actually says this. He says, I don't think there's any human remains in this home. Christopher was asked again if he consented to have the dog enter the home. Christopher advised again he understood and consented to letting the dog enter the home.
Because he knew that they're already gone.
On the dogs being inside the home, please see Officer Line's report. Perez. She got it wrong. Once the dog was done inside the home, Deputy Tikak, sorry, I don't
Tikak,
and I searched around the area with one of the dogs to try to catch a scent or trail from Bella, Celeste or Shanann leading anywhere around the area. Now, I don't think we've got that footage either, because we see Officer Lines walk in the neighbourhood with Cody, and then he alerted at the dumpster, but I don't have the footage from this. So again, if anybody's got that footage or have seen that footage, could you let me know, please? Please, please. Okay, walk from approximately Wyndham Hill Parkway and Saratoga Trail to Billings Avenue and Miners Peak Circle, then from Billings Avenue to Aggregate Boulevard to Wyndham Hill Parkway, and then from Wyndham Hill Parkway back to Saratoga Trail.
The dogs made like a weird square around the neighborhood. So that's kind of peculiar too.
The dog did not alert for anything around the area. Was searched. Exact GPS locations of what the other two dogs searched will be added to the case file. Will they? Where are they?
Yeah, exactly. They're not there.
I missed all of this. yeah, could someone please, if you've got it, if you've seen it, if you know where it is in the discovery files,
I haven't seen
that
it.
would be great. The map will be added to the case report. Christopher's work truck was parked just northeast of the front of the house on the north side. One of the dogs was taken to the work truck, and Jane advised the dog showed interest in the truck. Right.
So if the dog showed interest, then you have probable cause. Because I've seen on other channels, when it comes to like police dogs like alerting on cars, if a dog alerts, that means they have probable cause to check the vehicle, no matter if there's a warrant or not. So if the dog alerted, Jane's dog showed interest, then they should have been able to look inside the truck.
So that's what we've already explained. Jane stated the dog did not alert for any human remains inside the vehicle. No,
Yeah.
he didn't, because he's not looking for that.
Exactly.
But the dog,
Jane's dog is looking for trauma, where the other dog is looking for the decomposition.
caught the scent of one of the three missing parties. Excellent. Perez is correct. So Jane is saying, my dog doesn't look for human remains, but what I do know is there's interest in this truck. So there's scent from at least one, which was correct. Command staff was advised and they did nothing. But I don't think they had permission at that time to search.
I've looked it up, and if the dog alerts to a known area, they have probable cause to check that vehicle.
Truck. All right, so let's move on.
So it's just a different dog, essentially.
So this is Officer Perez footage, and we're going to play.
So what's upsetting is these two guys right here, these two friends, allowed Chris to stay with them, not knowing that he was the murderer, and he stayed across the hall from their daughter. They felt so bad the next day.
A little bit of this, because there's some interesting conversations. This is the point where Jane had come out and Jeff was entering.
Do the same thing. You still okay with that dog going inside? Okay. Yeah, we're good.
So that dog.
What can we be doing to kind of help out?
This is an interesting conversation that was captured. I just thought I'd put this out.
What can we do to help?
Never been in this situation, so we're like, you know, like, should we get like a group of people and like start walking?
I mean,
see, he's asking the questions that Chris should be.
Dogs for. Okay. So that saves like a huge area, because they'll start tracking down scent and pick up on scent, and that way we at least know where we're going.
Okay.
So we'll do that first before we start just getting people and just going out in nowhere.
Okay.
Because there's so many areas,
I know, right?
and we're trying to cover as if we have something to cover on as quickly as possible. That's the best thing to do.
Okay.
Which is a good strategy. Send the dogs out first, see if they detect anything, and then search that area. Which is such a shame that Cody, the Labrador, actually did alert at
to the
truck
dumpsters.
And
the dumpster.
Did no one go and check? Because no one noticed.
Exactly.
Wow.
Dumped.
And because I haven't seen any of the
blankets.
other search dog footage, apart from that one walk with Jane and Officer Lines, I can't look at the dog's behaviour. So yet again, if anybody has that footage, knows where it is in the discovery files, please put it in the comments and let me know, because I want to look at it. I want to see exactly what those dogs did.
Oh.
So this is Jeff coming out.
That's the dog. That's the cadaver dog. It's the German Shepherd.
So, do they need to go back it off or anything?
I'm going to go double check with other team, but it doesn't sound like it. Okay.
So Officer Perez's statement said that command had been informed of things. So why was a tag not put out the area of the basement?
Exactly.
Why was that not done?
They should have a tag for this dog being green, where he marked. The next dog, pink. This is where that dog marked. Like, that's what they should have done. But you see nothing.
I mean, what they would have found there, if it was just human scent, you know, no one was bleeding, what would they have found? Probably nothing. But why didn't they check? Because, you know, they do the luminol stuff for the blood.
Yep.
They do DNA, fingerprinting. If they'd have just done that, then it perhaps would have put paid to some of the rumours and made some explanation
so many
as to
rumours.
whether there was anyone else in the basement. No one's DNA should be in the basement
Besides
other
Chris.
than the people who live in that house, right? So if there was DNA, detected.
I still think they should have had Nicole's scent, like, rubbed in the dog, and then see if the dog goes down and alerts to Nicole's scent anywhere in the house.
From unknown persons or fingerprints from unknown persons, then that would have had to be explained. Chris would have had to explain that. But anyway, he confessed. He confessed. So the operation completely stopped, which was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It was crazy that they released that house so soon. Even though he confessed to killing Shanann. That wasn't a plea. Could have reneged on that confession.
Exactly.
But yet they still released the house.
So there's 3 dogs? So you had
Because
one out and then 2 for the house? Or?
Dan Warwick.
There's 2 in there that they pick up different scents.
Okay.
So we had both of them kind of go through it, see if they hit on anything. We had 3 in total.
Okay.
So he's right that 2 went in the house, but Officer Lines told Jeff and Dexter, oh, well, you don't need to bother searching the rest of the house because Jane's already done it. What Officer Lines doesn't understand is that these dogs are looking for different things. Jane's dog was looking for the sense of living persons.
Yes.
She clearly said that. Jeff's dog was the cadaver dog. What a body produces as it decomposes. Again, we'll come on to this in a sec. But Officer Line said to Jeff, oh, well, you don't need to bother searching the rest of the house because Jane's done it. What if Jeff had been allowed to take his dog around the rest of the house? Why wouldn't they have done that? So please, people, don't say that no one died in the house because the search dogs didn't detect. The search dogs didn't detect because Cody the Labrador wasn't looking for that, and then Jeff's dog, the cadaver dog, wasn't given the opportunity to do the search in the rest of the house.
They didn't do the search properly.
Searched the basement and the garage. But as I'll come on to in a sec, even if he had been allowed to search the rest of the house, very, very freshly deceased people don't produce enough cadaver for a cadaver dog to alert, and it will come on to that.
And then see if any of them grabbed anything, and then we'll start hitting around the area and see if they can pick up any
trails.
Yeah, steps.
There's a lot of stuff they messed up on this, man. Way too much.
We went to McDonald's yesterday and asked,
See, what he's saying right now is what Chris should be saying.
That's the thing. I mean,
Chris
I
is
don't
just
really think they pay attention to.
I know,
He's talking to Nicole.
States. That's their job. These hundreds of people.
Then you go back in. Okay. This season, would you guys let them know that we're all done with the house? We appreciate them being cooperative and let us get as much as we can. And
yeah.
That's the other track team.
Okay.
This dog's looking more for trauma or heated areas.
Oh, okay. So something
Those dogs
fresh.
are going to track the scent.
Okay. All right.
No, she's still getting it wrong. This is Officer Lines. So she said, yes, she repeated what Jane said and said this dog's looking for heated areas, looking for where body odors collect, where, there's a lot of body odor being produced or it's collected. It's only an indication, but still she gets it wrong. She says, well, we've done that. That's Jane's dog, but no, we're going to go and track the area. Jane's dog was the search and rescue dog, and the other dog was a cadaver dog. Oh, dear.
Yeah, if they're still out there. Have they started yet?
No.
Yeah.
Got you on the radio.
They what?
Radio.
Who was it?
Dispatch.
And Chris allowed this to happen because he knew that they were already gone.
So let's leave Officer Perez and Officer Lines, and we're going to look now at what cadaverine is and how a search dog, a cadaver dog searching for cadaverine, what it's looking for, how it does it, and what the limitations are. So this will give you some knowledge, hopefully. Okay, so we'll start with what is cadaverine? It's the foul-smelling compound produced by the putrefaction of animal tissue. It's that death smell. It's when a body starts decomposing. That's what it is. It's produced when lysine breaks down. So lysine is one constituent of protein. So our body is made up of proteins, lots of different proteins. Protein is made up of lots of different compounds called amino acids, and lysine is just one of those amino acids. So when it breaks down, it just produces this smell. That's what cadaver dogs are trained to search for. Every dog has got a fantastic sense of smell, but there are certain breeds that are just even more fantastic. If you have the right dog, you can detect very small amounts of scent. So beagles, bloodhounds, German shepherds and Labradors are the ones that are chosen. Law enforcement tends to use German shepherds, Labradors. They're very amenable to training. They want to please. In the UK, the drug detection people, they either use Labradors, Labrador crosses, or a lot of Spaniels get used as well. Rigorous training during which the pooch is exposed either to human remains, now this can be bits of bone, blood, nails, etc., or pseudoscents that simulate the death odor. So it's made up of chemical compounds. It's the same chemical compound, it's just made in a lab. Dogs can only indicate the presence of a smell, not an actual cadaver. So they're not looking for dead bodies, they're looking for that smell. That's what they're trained to do. But their sensitivity to the smell of decomposition means that they can sometimes tell where a body was even after it's been removed. Because that smell still lingers. It lingers in the air, it lingers on things
which it never
that
did.
those remains have come into contact with. They're not always reliable though. Sometimes they can get waylaid by decaying organic material of other kinds that have got similar chemical structures.
Like a dead mouse.
Apparently, humans and pigs have got very similar protein structures. So when pig remains break down, a dog will think that's human remains. Isn't that interesting? But
that's why I've heard that some murderers or serial murderers would use pig farms to cover up their the remains, because one, the pig ate everything, and two, they would never be able to find it because the pigs had similarities with humans.
Dogs are trained, they're trained not to follow other animals' scents, so they're just looking for human remains. But
so you can't
just an interesting side note that humans and pigs have got basically the same protein structure in their body. So the way that their body decomposes, a dog can't distinguish between the remains of a pig and the remains of a human. Get this though, again, this is a side note. This topic absolutely fascinates me, and I know quite a bit about dogs. Hopefully it's informative. A single human vertebra, so that's one of the bones in the spine, more than 30 years old and buried 12 inches deep. Dogs were let loose around a 300 by 150 foot plot, and several succeeded in sniffing out the dry bone fragment. Depends on the temperature, humidity, the ground, whether there's other decaying matter around. So a well-trained dog will not flag a living person or an animal. But obviously, as we've already said, there are some materials, some decaying materials that can confuse the dog. Putrescine, that's just another chemical produced, and then cadaverine. So an ace cadaver dog has such fine-tuned senses it can differentiate
which the cadaver dog never appointed.
Let's take a look at another article. Scientists search for death's aroma. So just 15 milligrams of human tissue, blood or bone can be enough to alert a cadaver dog to the location of a corpse. But again, they aren't perfectly accurate. Don't set your stall out absolutely by them, as we'll come on to. For starters, right, this is why it's a problem. The chemicals wafting off a dead body are not stable over time because cadaver transition through many stages of decomposition. The moments after death, carbon dioxide levels rise in the corpse's blood and the body's pH begins to drop, so it gets more acidic. The brain's neurotransmitters begin to pool and the enzymes that normally break down materials in the body are no longer held in check. So things just start to break down. Soon, a corpse's cells begin to spill out their nutrient-packed interiors, and the trillions of microbes inhabiting a person's body take note that the immune system is no longer operational. Thus begins the cadaver's bloat phase, where the body's own microbiome feasts on its proteins, carbohydrates, and lipids, fats, breaking down these biological building blocks into component parts and creating internal gas that cannot escape through the usual exit valves. Insects, bacteria, fungi and animals from the environment or soil join the feeding frenzy as the body loses its human form. Depending on the burial conditions, after weeks, months or years, just a skeleton, sometimes a mummy, remains. Through all of these stages, a wide variety of volatile chemicals wax and wane. Hydrocarbons, aldehydes, ketones, nitrogen-heavy compounds, sulfides and organic acids are produced by the decomposing flesh. Amongst the most commonly measured chemicals in the air above the cadaver are dimethyl disulfate, a disagreeable garlicky odour, toluene and p-xylene. Curiously, the common touted corpse chemicals putrescine and cadaverine aren't always measured in the air around the dead body. They may be present within the corpse, but they don't always become volatile and escape. Decomposition in the presence or absence of oxygen produces different odour compounds. That means a body buried in 1 metre of sand, which has access to air, isn't going to emit the same chemical signature as a body buried in 1 metre of clay, which is sequestered from oxygen. Temperature is also a consideration. Not only can it accelerate or decelerate decay, temperature can also change a corpse's odour profile. Even a person's diet in life can impact on the odours emanating from the body. To isolate a human cadaver-specific chemical cocktail, researchers often compare the human decomposition odours with that of other dead animals, hoping to find key molecules or difference. Odours of decomposing pig, dog, chicken, sparrow, sturgeon, frog, turtle, deer, even ground beef have been used for comparisons with human decay. The more animals used in comparison, the better the likelihood about human-specific markers or trends will emerge. But researchers can't test every animal in nature. It's very complicated, but I don't think we should throw up our hands and walk away, Vass says. The dogs do it somehow. They're trained on cadaverine and putrescine, but they're so clever. Given enough people interested in doing systematic research, we'll come up with a more universal profile of what the human signature is. So essentially, we need more research on what these dogs are actually looking for. They're so clever. Do not underestimate a dog. Let's bring this back to the Watts case. The question is, this is the thing, can we say that no one died in the house because the search dogs didn't alert? No, absolutely not. We cannot say that based on the evidence from the dogs. Even if Jeff's cadaver dog, Dexter, even if he'd have gone around the house, good chance, actually, that he would not even have detected. How soon after death can a cadaver dog detect? Cadaver dogs should be able to detect bodies 24 to 72 hours soon after death, as this is when decomposition starts.
But she was
they
only
can also
dead.
detect human remains a long time after death.
Shanann was murdered between 2 and 3 o'clock, or 2 and 5 o'clock. So then with her being removed, she was never able to start decomposition. So that's why they didn't alert for the decomp.
Shanann was killed in the house, in my opinion. I think Chris
so
said about her being in bed, strangling her in bed, I think that is truthful, in my opinion. But if you don't have that opinion and you're saying because the dogs didn't alert, she can't have died in the house, we have no evidence for that whatsoever. And even if Jeff's dog had gone upstairs and searched Shanann's bedroom, she was freshly dead.
She did,
and she was taken out
before
quickly.
She could stop.
So there's a very good chance, actually, that the dog would not have alerted. There is a small possibility, but still, chances are he wouldn't have. Make of all of this what you will. I've just put a lot of information out there, and what I'd like people to do is go through it and give me your opinion. Put it in the comments. I've also got a Facebook group.
So I definitely very much enjoyed her breakdown of the cadaver dog, the trauma dog, which one was right, which one was wrong. Because there was some people in my comments that said they weren't murdered at the house. They were murdered all at Survey 319, which made no sense because you never saw Shanann leave. You saw some type of woman there, but that woman was not pregnant. And that's why we are led to believe that she possibly went out the back, because the front way, you don't see him carrying anybody. And some people say that you can see it. I don't see it. Like, I spent 5 hours literally like pausing the video to see if he was carrying anybody. You can see little people, kids, but you never saw him carry anybody out. Plus, wouldn't you be able to see that in a white sheet with bags on her head and feet? I just don't believe that she was taken out the front. That's why I believe she was taken out the back. But she was deceased before she left. He murdered her at the house. I'm 100% convinced. That's why I was kind of shocked that people were actually believing that Chris murdered them at all at Survey 319. That's not true. So please comment down below your guys' thoughts, your opinions, and your inquiries. Please keep it positive. No bullying anybody else. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. Please like the video for obvious reasons of the justice of the Watts family when it comes to Shanann, Bella, Cece, and baby Nico. And we will see you guys in the next video. So keep it real, keep it safe, and as always, keep nerding on, and we will see you guys next time.